Hey everyone! Today's video is going to be sharing my contour collection with you, and it is actually in collaboration with the beautiful Hope from Beauty and Bliss 67 here on YouTube. She is from Kentucky, so you can imagine she has the cutest accent, and she is a even bigger makeup addict than I am. I know. I didn't think that was possible, but you can only imagine what two beauty addicts talk about, just what makeup they're gonna buy next. Anyway, definitely check out her channel, go subscribe, leave her a comment telling her I sent you and that I say hey, and if you wanna see my contour collection, then just keep watching. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the brushes. There are only 3 contour brushes that I typically like to use. The first one is the Kat Von D Shade and Light brush. The shade part right here is the contour side, and you can see that it's angled. That is definitely my favorite contour brush though, because I like how thin it is. It's very fluffy, and you can really just get into the cheekbone without getting it too intense. Next brush is a large angled 504 brush from Luxie. It's a really pretty pink rose gold brush. This one also, as you can tell, it's at an angle, and when you're going up, you want it to be angled because you're really going to be able to get into the crevices of your cheekbones. So this is definitely an ideal brush for that. And then the last one is this Real Techniques 301 from their new Luxe collection. This is a very different kind of brush because it's very thick and there's a lot of hairs. It's very tightly packed in there. You really have to be careful because this picks up a lot of product and it packs a much thicker contour, so just be careful with this one. But those are my 3 brushes that I use for contouring. Now let's get into the actual products themselves. So the first thing I'm going to show you are these Smashbox step-by-step contour sticks. I only have the contour and highlight sticks with me right now. There is a bronze one, so there's 3 sticks that come in this collection. This is something that I really like, and I was taken back by how good these are because I didn't expect them to be that good. If your face is oval or square or round, whatever it may be, it really tells you where you need to apply the makeup. So I really think that's great because it's almost like a step-by-step guide. Anyone can use that, a beginner or a more advanced user of contour products. I would highly recommend those sticks if you're a beginner and even if you're more advanced, because those are so creamy. Incredible. The next thing is something that everyone's talked about for a very long time, and that is the Charlotte Tilbury Filmstar Bronze and Glow. It looks like this, and I'm sure you've heard this from a lot of different, beauty bloggers, YouTubers, and everyone seems to love it. Like, loving, dying, whatever. And I still have yet to figure out what the hell everyone is so in love with this product. I just don't understand. I feel like this highlighter is a little bit too shimmery for my face, and it makes me look a little bit oily, a little bit too greasy, and I have a very oily complexion anyway. So when I apply this, it almost looks like I'm extra oily, and I really don't like the look of that, and I feel like the bronzer just doesn't do enough for me in terms of the product itself. It's just not potent enough. So I've swatched both of them here, and you can kind of tell there's the obviously bronze on the left and then highlight on the right. It may be opposite, I have no idea, but it's just, the bronze just looks really nice on my hand right now, and so does the highlight, but when I end up actually putting it on my face, I'm just not the biggest fan of it. And I've taken this with me on trips because it's so compact. It's like this tiny little package, and it's got both the highlight and the bronzer. It's just not something that I'm in love with as much as everyone else is, I guess. It was not my product of choice in terms of contouring, so I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of people who disagree with me, but it was just my experience. It just, I don't know, it didn't really wow me. It's very expensive. I think it was $60, and it's just 2 products. You're not even getting a variety of colors. So I just think it's definitely overpriced, and I don't know if it's worth the hype, you guys. I'm just really not sure that it's worth the hype. Next one is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Kit, and this is the powder form, and this is the lightest combination of powders that they have. So it looks like this. It's definitely a beautiful contour kit. This was probably one of the first contour products to hit the market on the high streets, and everybody and their mothers was trying to get a hold of this, and it took me forever to actually even get it. I would say that this is probably one of my top contour kits. There's a lot of versatility here, and you can kind of tell this is the lightest kit, but this is a really nice kit. I mean, it's very good quality, and it's giving you a lot for your money. I think this is $40, and you're getting 3 highlights and 3 contours. So for the price, it's definitely right. And I think the quality honestly is long lasting. It doesn't make me look like I'm greasy or oily. The contour product really stays on throughout the day, and it doesn't fall and move all over my face, which I really like, because like I mentioned, I have oily skin, so when I have product moving all over my face, that is an issue for me, because I don't want to have like my contour all the way down on my jaw and like my highlight on my cheeks and my blush like down here, you know what I mean? So it's really important to me that the contour and the highlight stay in place, and this is a really good kit. If you don't have this, I definitely think this is a good one to invest in, especially if you're more on the beginning stages of contouring or you're trying to learn. It really gives you a lot of options in terms of how to contour and how to highlight your face. Okay, so the next one is one of these Naked Flushed palettes. These came in a few different variations. This is Streak. So this is a bronzer, highlight, and blush trio, and it looks like this. And I really don't use this bronzer as much as I should, to be quite honest. It's very pigmented. You honestly do not need to use your brush too heavily in here, because you will get way too much product. It's very creamy too for a powder. I mean, it really just glides on the skin. This is one that is very long lasting, is very beautiful, is very natural, but has the tendency to kind of slip and slide. If you can see that. It does tend to move on my face if I don't set it with the powder, prime really well, but it's such a beautiful bronzer. This is a very nice all over the face bronzer, but I've used this for contouring before, because sometimes I just want to add a little bit more definition to my cheeks without getting insanely crazy, like using the Anastasia kit or going in with those contour sticks. So that is the one that I would probably gravitate to when I want more of a natural, just nice chiseled cheek. So it's kind of contoured, but not too crazy. So the next one is another Anastasia product. This is the Contour Cream Kit, and this is the light shade as well. So this one has banana, vanilla, cool pink, cream nude, and cinnamon, but it doesn't really work for me. And this, I'm like trying to figure out where it is. This dark color right here is way too dark of a contour, way too dark. And then this one over here is way too light. So I was trying to figure out what I was supposed to use to contour, because it just didn't seem like any of these colors would really work for me. I did like the highlight colors. I've never used this one, if you can see that, it hasn't been touched. I do like these too. I just wasn't the biggest fan of this color combination, and in terms of the formula itself, these just slip all over your face. I have oily skin, so I knew I would have to be kind of careful like going in with a cream product, but oh my gosh, and now when I'm even trying to like get some product on my, they're like dried out. Like this is just like a disaster. But they're very cakey, and they're thick and creamy, and they're so freaking hard to blend. Like I was just really bummed out by this, but like you can really tell that there's like product. Like it's one of those products that like is too much. Like people look at you and they're like, damn, that girl's got some serious makeup on her face, and you don't want to be that person. Like you don't want to have way too much makeup on your face, but this really sticks to my pores, sticks to the dry patches, slips and slides, so I have a contour where my cheeks are, and it like kind of slides down about an inch throughout the day. So I just really was not a fan of this. I don't know how many people really liked this cream contour, but I know all the PR people were excited that they got it. But I would save your money on this one. Go for something else. Go for those cream contour sticks. It is not worth it with this particular palette. Remember, this is the light one. I didn't really like the color range. I don't like the formula itself. And I mean, that's really all I have to say about it. I would not recommend this one to you. Now I'm really excited to talk to you about this next one because it's my favorite contour kit product of all time. And this is one that I actually hesitated to buy because I wasn't sure that I was gonna like it. This is the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. Still my #1 absolute favorite. It's got a big ass mirror in here, so if you ever need to do your makeup using this mirror, they've got you covered. But in terms of the color selection, look at how freaking amazing these colors are. I am in love with this middle shade right here, in love with this color here. All of the highlight colors are incredible. The only one I tend to stay away from is this darker color here, and I think it's called Sombre. It's just too dark for my skin. Maybe when I get a little bit more tan this summer, I'll be able to use that one a little bit more. But this is just such a great kit. I love the formula itself. The powdery element of it is amazing. It's long lasting, it's creamy, easily blendable. And I've used that dark shade before and I've been able to blend it out to a nice look and feel, so it didn't look too terribly bad. It's just a difficult color to work with in terms of my skin tone right now. So I was just in love with these two. These are such good contour colors and really blendable. Yes, this is a must-have if you love contouring, if you know how to contour. Even if you're a beginner, you will learn how to contour with this. This next one is another one of my favorites. If I'm not really feeling in the contoury spirit, I take this with me usually when I travel just because it lets me have that additional bronze glow to my skin. This is the Benefit Dallas Blush, and I think it says, for a natural, fresh glow, lightly sweep this dusty sunset plum powder across cheekbones and chin or anywhere you want looks to linger. And it looks like this. Very beautiful. This is very nice as a blush. It's very nice as a contour color. It's very nice for all over the face. It's probably the most versatile product that I have just in my entire makeup collection because it can be an eyeshadow, it can be a blush, it can be a contour, or it can be a bronzing product. So you're really getting your money's worth, and it's such a beautiful color. I mean, I don't know why more people don't talk about this and love this because it's so freaking beautiful. Look at this, and it's creamy. It really blends nicely. It's just so beautiful. It's something that I honestly take with me every time I travel because I will probably need it, and when I see it in my collection, I get excited to use it. So those are always the best products, the ones that you know you're gonna get excited for, and the ones that when you see them, you're excited to use them. So the next one I'm going to show you is in my Lorac Pro To Go palette. I have to be honest and tell you that I really don't take this with me when I travel. I thought this was going to be like my ride or die, but it's really not. But I do like the bronzer shade in here. So on one side you have your blushes and bronzer, and then on the other side you have your eyeshadow. So it's really like an eye and cheek palette. In terms of the bronzer, you can see it right here. It's called Bronze. I don't really know if that's the actual name, but it just says Bronze underneath it. So I'm guessing that is the name of this bronzer. And it's a very light, feathery, dusty sweep on the cheeks type of feel. It doesn't feel heavy on your skin. It doesn't move anywhere. It's very powdery, but it's also very blendable. If you think about the Lorac palettes, all of those shadows are extremely creamy, extremely blendable, extremely pigmented. The bronzer is the exact same way, and it's such a beautiful color. I really think this is going to give you a very natural contour on your cheeks. It's not so abrupt, it's not so in your face, but it's very natural, and it looks really nice on all skin tones, and that's why they include it in this Lorac Pro To Go palette, because almost any skin tone can rock this shade. So I really like that one as well. The next one comes from the NARS Virtual Domination Cheek Palette. It looked like this, and it was their winter edition collection, and you have a highlighter, 3 blushes, and a bronzer in here. Probably pretty pricey. I remember this being close to $50, I think. Another one that I would recommend, and it's also a subtle contour and it's easily buildable. That's the really nice thing about that one, because you can really make it more intense if you use more product. Whereas it could be very light if you're using one of my little brushes and just lightly sweeping it in there and then just lightly sweeping it on your cheeks. I feel like I've swatched so many of these, they're all starting to look the same. Or maybe I just have the same color of every bronzer. The next one is from Tarte. This is their Park Avenue Princess. I have a tiny little size of it. And this is a really, really nice bronzer. It doesn't look as dark on my hand right now as it does in real life, but this is a very dark contour shade. I'm pretty pale right now. I can't use this bronzer right now. It's way too dark. It's way too intense. It's just very much in your face. It doesn't look natural. My cheeks look insane. So I'm not using this product right now, but if you have a darker skin tone, or maybe during the summer when I get a little bit tanner, I may be able to use it. But if you're a darker skin tone, definitely a good bronzer for you. But I really want to hear what your favorite contour product is. I know right now that I have to get the Chanel Teint de Soleil. Everyone and their mothers and grandmothers talks about that product and how life-changing it is, and it'll probably like last the entirety of my life and this and that. So I am picking that up. I am going to get that product. But tell me in the comments down below, what is your favorite contour product? And if you don't contour, what is your favorite bronzer? What do you use to give yourself a golden glow on your face? Make sure to like this video if you liked it, hit that subscribe button if you're new, and head on over to Hope's channel, Beauty and Bliss 67, and make sure to tell her I said hi, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! Shade and light brush. I can't speak. Shade part. I can't talk about the brush. On your face, depending on what shape your face is. So if it's heart, if it's opal, this is